Toronto Raptors up and down season continues. The Raptors are coming off of a tough loss against the Bucks in which Chris Middleton and Giannis Antetokounmpo both didn't play. As I tweeted out, the Raptors have too much talent to lose a game like this. The Raptors are now 4-5 to begin the new year, and 3 of those wins have come against teams under 500. At this point, it just doesn't seem like this current roster will turn things around. With all of their recent struggles, it appears the Toronto Raptors, who have stayed pat over the last couple of seasons, won't stay silent before the February 9th trade deadline. What they're not going to do is be in the middle, said one Western Conference executive. They've told teams they're going to do something, said an assistant general manager. It seems like something is brewing for this Raptors team. What's going on, everyone? Luca here, back with another video. In this one, I'm going to be talking about the latest trade rumors for the Toronto Raptors and what could happen before the NBA trade deadline. If you guys can do me a solid favor, hit a like on the video. It does help it a ton. And please subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're so close to 30K. And real quick, about 96% of you are not subscribed. So if you are watching my videos and you are not subscribed, make sure you subscribe for more Raptors and NBA content, and be sure to turn on the post notification button so you get my latest uploads. There were a ton of rumors reported on Wednesday before the Raptors took on the Bucks that we're about to get into, and a lot of it was reported by Yahoo Sports' Jake Fisher. So let's look at this Raptors team as of right now. The Raptors sit 20-25 and are a half a game back from 10th in the Eastern Conference. The Raptors entered the season with a team that was expected to be a 4th or 5th seed and compete with the best in the East. But things have not gone to plan for the Raptors whatsoever. This team is into the 3rd week of January and looks to be in shambles. As we know, Masai Ujiri and Bobby Webster aren't afraid of making a big deal. The Raptors could be buyers at the deadline and look to add some key pieces. As Jake Fisher wrote, if Toronto does decide to bolster this group, league personnel expect the Raptors to focus on playmaking on the perimeter and rim protection in the interior. Miles Turner and DeAndre Ayton have been 2 centers on Toronto's radar, sources said. And former Raptor center Jakob Poeltl remains a target of Toronto's front office, as Yahoo Sports reported in December. Another name that has come up, if the Raptors are indeed looking to buy and add to this group, is Bojan Bogdanovic. This is according to the Athletic Shams. He's reporting Toronto as one of the 6 teams interested in Detroit's forward. My reaction to this is, I don't know if Poeltl will necessarily move the needle, but Miles Turner and DeAndre Ayton are very intriguing. But what would that require? It was said last year that the Pacers wanted OG for Turner, and the price would probably be similar, if not more, for DeAndre Ayton. Bogdanovic makes a whole lot of sense for the Raptors, as they obviously need shooting, and he was someone who the Raptors were linked to back in August. Now, how about if the Raptors want to be sellers at the NBA trade deadline and offload some key pieces? Well, Toronto is only expected to seriously listen to offers for Gary Trent Jr. As Mark Stein previously reported, Trent appears to be the most likely Raptor to be traded, and by a wide margin. Various rival executives are under the impression Toronto will even search to move Trent before the deadline, as Trent is positioned to decline next season's $18.5 million player option and test free agency. And early indications are that Trent will be seeking upward of $25 million in average annual value before the 2023-2024 campaign begins. That's a lot for the Raptors to take on with this current group. Now, what would the Raptors look for in return for Trent? Toronto has shown interest in Hornets forward Jalen McDaniels, sources said. Fisher then wrote, it would take a haul at least in the ballpark of Atlanta's offseason price for DeJounte Murray, which is multiple unprotected first-round picks, for Toronto to even consider parting with OG Anunoby, a player who I've said before, I don't anticipate the Raptors trading at all. If the Raptors made him available for trade right now, every single team is going to call, one general manager told Yahoo Sports. And then Shams tweeted that if the Pelicans want to go and get serious with Anunoby or Siakam, they have all the picks in the world to do so. So as we can tell, it would take a boatload of picks for the Raptors to move either OG or Pascal Siakam. Now, how about Fred Van Vleet? He's the interesting player in this entire equation. Well, this is what Jake Fisher said about him. Fred Van Vleet's apparent trade candidacy seems far more rooted in his down performance this season than the front office's willingness to part with such a central team leader. So that tells me that the Raptors still have intentions of keeping Fred Van Vleet. But remember, by keeping him, the Raptors could run the risk of losing him this summer for nothing, as both the Phoenix Suns and Orlando Magic have reportedly emerged as potential suitors for Van Vleet should he opt out of his player option this summer and head into unrestricted free agency. This is per Shams. And the idea is Fred Van Vleet will indeed opt out and look for more money. Fred Van Vleet could have extended to the tune of 4 years, $114 million, and by waiting, he'll become eligible for a deal worth as high as $230 million over 5 seasons. And league figures are ballparking Van Vleet's next salary between $30 million and $35 million. That's a whole ton of money to pay Fred Van Vleet. I know the Raptors appear to still be high on Van Vleet, but trying to trade Fred makes sense to me. I mean, if you don't, you either lose him in free agency for nothing or have to pay him between $30 and $35 million to keep him, which I don't think he's worth. Now, the Raptors will have plenty of flexibility when it comes to the luxury tax next season, but they are currently tracking towards a huge payroll for the 2024-2025 season, with Siakam and Anunoby each eligible to reach free agency that summer before. And this is where things become tricky for the Raptors. If the Raptors do have intentions of keeping Siakam and Anunoby, and the Raptors also ink Van Vleet to a big contract extension as well, then the Raptors will have their hands tied up financially. And is this all worth one expensive bill? I mean, you're not going to win a championship with Fred Van Vleet and Pascal Siakam as your highest paid players. The Raptors are approaching a very interesting and what will be grueling 7-game road trip on the West Coast, and this could be the final indicator of what the Raptors will do going forward. Will they try to save this season and go for it by adding to this group, or will they enter rebuild mode by offloading a key piece or two? Based on what we're seeing and hearing, it does seem like the Raptors will retool more so than rebuild. But hey, you never know if Masai Ujiri and company will throw a curveball when you least expect it. Time will tell. But as we approach a pivotal part of this season, one thing is certain with this Raptors team. Change needs to happen. We'll see what type of change this franchise ushers in. Let me know what you would like to see this team do moving forward. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below, and we will see how this all unfolds for the Toronto Raptors. Be sure to hit a like on the video. It does help it a ton, and subscribe on your way out for more Raptors and NBA content. This is Luca signing off. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all again in the next video.